Welcome back to our journey down the rabbit hole of forgotten science. In our last episode, we uncovered Dr. Rolf Schafranca, a NASA insider with a secret life exploring free energy and anti-gravity. Today we meet his collaborator Thomas E. Bearden, a man who claimed we could pull limitless power from the vacuum itself. And at the heart of his wild ideas, a lost type of wave, hidden in the equations of electricity and magnetism. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into physics, conspiracies, and the secrets of Nikola Tesla. Like and subscribe to keep exploring. Thomas Bearden was no ordinary scientist. A retired Army lieutenant colonel born in 1930, he turned his sights to physics, claiming he was carrying on Tesla's legacy. Bearden said the universe is bursting with energy we can tap, free energy from the vacuum. He wrote books like Energy from the Vacuum and papers on something called scalar waves. His boldest claim? A device called the Motionless Electromagnetic Generator, or MEG, could produce more energy than it consumed. Sounds impossible, right? Mainstream scientists called him a pseudoscientist, pointing to his questionable PhD and unproven devices. Yet, Bearden's ideas gained a cult following, especially after he teamed up with Schafranca on a 1984 paper about Tesla's secrets. So, what was Bearden chasing? Let's start with the waves he thought could change everything. To understand Bearden, we need to talk about electromagnetic waves. These are energy waves like radio signals, microwaves, or the light you're seeing right now. Most waves we know are called Hertzian waves, named after Heinrich Hertz. They're transverse waves, meaning they wiggle up and down while moving forward. Picture shaking a rope. The wave travels along, but the rope moves side to side. But Bearden believed in non-Hertzian waves, waves that work differently. These could be longitudinal waves, where the energy pushes and pulls in the direction it's going, like sound waves compressing air, or even helical waves, where the energy spirals like a corkscrew. Why don't we use these waves? Bearden said they were hidden in the original equations of James Clerk Maxwell, the genius who unified electricity and magnetism in the 1860s. Let's dig into the math. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Maxwell wrote out 20 equations using quaternions, which is, well, this fancy math system that mixes numbers and directions. They looked something like this: nabla times F equals partial F over partial T plus J. That's nabla times F equals dF by dt plus J, in words, where F combines the electric field E and magnetic field B, and J is electric current. These equations, honestly, suggested all kinds of waves. Transverse, like light. Longitudinal, like Bearden's scalar waves. Maybe even helical, with spiraling fields. But here's the catch. Maxwell's equations were a real mess to work with. 20 of them. So, another scientist, Oliver Heaviside, stepped in. He simplified them into the 4 equations we use today. One of them, Faraday's law, looks like this. The integral of E dot dl equals minus d phi b over dt, or the line integral of E dot dl equals minus d phi b by dt. This says a changing magnetic flux, phi b, induces an electric field. These 4 equations are great. They predict transverse waves perfectly. But the math focuses on vectors, ignoring scalar parts that might hint at longitudinal or helical waves. Let's break down the wave types. Transverse waves follow this equation: E equals E naught sine, kz minus omega t, I hat. That's E equals E0 sine, kz minus omega t, I hat, where E wiggles perpendicular to the wave's path. Helical waves are a twist on this, literally. They look like E equals E naught, cosine, kz minus omega t, I hat plus sine, kz minus omega t j hat. Or E equals E0 cosine, kz minus omega t, I hat plus sine, kz minus omega t j hat. The field rotates like a helix, but it's still transverse, kind of like polarized light in those 3D glasses. Now, longitudinal waves? They'd have E along the wave's direction, but the modern equations say nabla dot E equals 0, del dot E equals 0, meaning no such wave in free space. Bearden argued Maxwell's original equations allowed these waves, but Heaviside's simplification just cut them out. It's like Heaviside took a detailed treasure map and drew a simpler one, leaving out the secret paths. So why does this matter? Bearden said non-Hertzian waves, like longitudinal scalar waves, could unlock free energy, wireless power, even mind control. His MEG device supposedly used these waves to pull energy from the vacuum. He tied it to Tesla, claiming powerful forces buried this knowledge. Schafranca, his collaborator, hinted at the same thing in his pseudonymous books. But here's the rub: mainstream science says the four equations work just fine. They predict light, radio, everything we need. Bearden's devices never worked in tests, and, honestly, his math's been called shaky. Yet, the debate still rages in fringe circles. Could longitudinal or helical waves beyond polarization be real? Did Heaviside's math hide a cosmic secret, or is this just a wild theory? Thomas E. Bearden died in 2022, but his ideas live on, fueling dreams of free energy and hidden tech. Was he a visionary or just a dreamer? Did Maxwell's lost equations hold the key to non-Hertzian waves, or are we, just chasing shadows? One thing's sure. Bearden's name, like Shawfranca's, opens doors to a deeper mystery. Next time, we'll go even further down the rabbit hole, maybe even back to Tesla himself. Like and subscribe to join us and share your thoughts in the comments. Remember the name Bearden. It's the key to unlocking what's next.